Hi everyone, today I've just put this video together to help get you set up with the battle station. In this video basically I'm going to show you how to personalize the battle station, because it probably does require that element of personalization with your trading needs, so to speak, because there are a lot of options. By default it may be a little bit overwhelming, but I've tried to make it as simple as possible, so I'm just going to show you in this guide basically how easy it is to get started. So with installation, it's probably best if you follow the guide that I've got below. It's a step-by-step procedure on basically once you download the indicator, then you put it into the indicator folder inside your MT4. There's a special way to get to that. It's quite easy. Just follow the guide. I've got pictures and everything there. Once you put the battle station file into the indicator folder inside your MT4, when you open MetaTrader, you basically go to your, might just be off the screen a little there. If I just put that on. When you open MT4, you'll see your indicators tab here. You just open that and you will see it somewhere in here. But because I've got it as a project here, it's just in a different subfolder here. So basically when you double click on the battle station, it's going to bring up the options. Like I said, there's a lot of options here, which may look a little bit intimidating, but most of the time you won't touch most of them. They're just for basically more granular control, which I'll get into a bit further into the tutorial. So the first thing you'll have to do is authenticate the battle station with your War Room account. Now the username and password go here. I've got a message here that says make sure you use your username, not your email. When you log into the website, it will accept your email address as your username and pick you up that way, but this tool can't do that. It needs your War Room username. Now the username, if you're not sure what it is, your username will be visible when you go into the chat room. That's where your username gets displayed. So when you log in and you go to the chat room and you see your name there, that's your username. Or you might be able to get it from your user control panel, which is in the top right corner. There's a button there in the War Room. Once you're logged in, you just click user panel and you probably can extract your username out of there. So that's where your username goes. A few things to mention about your password. It's case sensitive, so just be careful of that caps lock button there. If you've got your caps lock on, then it's going to throw your password out and not recognize it. It has to be the right uppercase and lowercase combination. Now your password won't be starred out like it normally is with other applications. MT4 don't support the starring out of the password, so just be careful when you inputting your password. If you've got a sensitive password maybe that you use for everything, if there's someone standing around, they're going to be able to see it, so just be mindful of that. And just so you know, I won't ever see your password inside the battle station. It will encrypt it and use its encrypting algorithm and then compare it to the encrypted version on the server, so you don't have to worry about me seeing your sensitive information either. I never see that. Once you do put the correct username and password in, if it accepts it, in the top left corner here you will see some information which is loaded by default. There is an option to turn this off, by the way, so if as long as you have this turned on, you will see this information here, and you can see it's authorized for me, the Forex guy, my account. Otherwise you will see a failure notice or something like that, which means your username and your password didn't get recognized in the War Room server. And most cases it's because either one, people forget their username because they don't use it to log in, or two, they've done something silly like left the caps lock on or something like that. Now going back into the options, that's basically how you get the battle station up and running and loaded, ready to go. Alright, so once the battle station's loaded up, you've got it authorized and you're ready to get started, this is where you're going to need to basically understand what the battle station does, and then you can start to customize it the way you want. So the first primary function of the battle station is to recognize certain candlestick patterns, and so you can see once you load it on the screen, you're going to see all sorts of markings pop up, and that's basically the battle station recognizing different patterns and flagging them as different things. So the first one you'll probably notice is the yellow. That you're probably going to see that a lot. That's the inside candle marker. Now it's basically a candle that's range which rests nested within the previous candle range. Quite simple. This may be flagged as say a pin bar, but because it's also an inside candle, it will basically will take priority there. So it doesn't matter what shape or form the candle comes in. If it's an inside candle, that's what it is. It's an inside candle. Then you've got your reversal candlestick patterns, which is your basic pin bar, rejection candle, outside candle, engulfing candle. We've also got the bullish piercing candle and the bearish dark cloud cover there. Now, the thing to know with the pin bar and the rejection candle, so a lot of these patterns are going to be very similar, but because this is a algorithm, it needs to be very straightforward and technical on what it specifies like a pin bar would be and a rejection candle would be. So basically a pin bar would, let's see if we can find one. This would be recognized as a pin bar. With the reversal candles, all of them use the same drawing marker, so they're either going to have the light blue marker for a bullish pattern or the bleached almond pattern, which you can see here, for a bearish pattern. And those colors just suit my theme that I use around the war room, but you can customize the colors in the charts in the way you want. I'll show you how to do that later. But all the 6 reversal candles use those two. So if it's a bullish pattern, it's going to do the blue one. If it's a bearish pattern, it's going to do the bleached almond one, regardless if it's a pin bar, outside candle, engulfing, rejection candle. If it's a reversal candle, it flags it as that color. So you just got to understand that. Now this is a pin bar. You can see basically the pin bar has the very narrow body and a long tail, in contrast to a rejection candle, which would be something more similar to this, where a rejection candle is basically has a much thicker body and a much more dominant, stronger reversal signal there. So we get to see body, is much thicker. It just looks more aggressive. If I could just find a bullish rejection candle to compare that with. So here's another pin bar there. We've got a very narrow body. Oh, here we go. This would probably be flagged as a bullish rejection candle. So you can see that we've got the much thicker body there, much more dominant rejection. And we've also got outside candles, which we can see one here. That's a bearish outside candle setup. Outside candles basically have to have a higher high than the previous candle and close below either the previous low or high, depending on which direction we're going. If I can find a bullish outside candle example, that'll be good. So here's a bullish outside candle. So we've got a low that's lower than the previous candle low, and the close is above the previous high, which basically means this candle is outside the range of the previous candle. Now, in contrast to an engulfing candle, because this is a common question, what's the difference between an engulfing candle and an outside candle? So here's a bullish engulfing candle, almost the same, but really focusing on where the price closed in respect to the previous candle's range. So the engulfing candle, there we go. So we got a lower low than the previous candle range, and the close didn't close outside of the previous candle range, but quite high up in the range there. So there's a certain threshold there that the candle must close in, like the top percentage of the previous candle range, to show that it's like almost engulfing the candle there. And a bearish engulfing be this guy here, which would be a higher high than the previous candle and a close almost outside, but not quite, just closing just short of the previous candle range there. So that's the main difference between an outside candle. One will close outside the previous candle's range, one will almost close and basically closing in the top percentage or the lower percentage of the previous candle range there. Some candlesticks will be very similar, and they almost might qualify for 2 different candles. So dark cloud covers, this may be considered a dark cloud cover because it comes from the highs and penetrates basically into the previous candle range, but is also maybe viewed as a rejection candle as well. So with bullish piercing candles and dark cloud covers, you're probably rarely ever going to see those. We'll see the candles flagged as those because they're most likely going to qualify as rejection candles, which basically take priority there. So that's the reason, if you're wondering why the tool doesn't drop any dark cloud cover or bullish piercing signals, is because it's being recognized as something else. They may need some fine tuning, but at the moment I'm pretty happy with the way the battle station is picking up the signals. So another excellent feature of the battle station, which you're going to love, especially if you trade Renko charts, is they do work on Renko charts. So I use this guy here. This is my Renko chart generator. So I've got, we're going to put that as Renko simple update. I want to generate my Renko chart, and that should be done. Okay, so if we go here and open up the experts tab, and I'll just show you something quickly. When you load the battle station onto a Renko chart, and you basically press OK, you'll see a notification come in. The battle station's basically running in Renko mode. That's very important, because if the battle station doesn't pick up that you've got a Renko chart in front of you, then that's a problem, because the Renko side of the battle station is not going to work. If you don't get that Renko message and it says candlestick mode instead, which is the default, then you most likely have bad Renko charts, and yeah, there's something wrong with your Renko chart generator. But I've tested this with my Renko chart generator, which is very clean, and it does pick up that it's a Renko chart straight away. I haven't tried it with any others, but basically it's working well here. So what we've got programmed here is the Renko engulfing candle. That's the main reversal candle that has been programmed into the battle station there. And also what the battle station can do is notify you when new Renko candles form. So the problem with Renko charts is, because they're not time based, you don't know when a new Renko brick or candle is going to form. So one feature that I've included in the battle station is a notification message when a new Renko candle forms, and you can also tweak that a little bit further, so you can basically only be notified not when a new Renko candle forms, but when we get a direction change. So like here we got a bullish Renko candle, and then it changes to a bearish Renko candle. That sort of direction change, you can be notified of that instead of every single candle. Two other things I'd like to mention also is the battle station can pick up breakout traps. There's a tutorial that shows what the breakout trap is. It's basically our breakout trap in reverse London breakout strategy. So if a previous candle high is broken, and then or a low, and then it goes and proceeds to move and break the other end of the candle, which is basically an outside candle in live formation, it will notify you that that's happening. And there's a few settings there that you can tweak to basically get earlier warnings and whatnot. I've got it basically set to where I think is a good level. And we've also got the channel drawing. So if I press C, the C key, you'll see the channel basically will come up, and I can toggle it on and off by pressing the C. So if I go into the indicator options, battle station options, and if I scroll down to channel drawing options, by default that's turned off, because when you load it, you don't want the channel to load. And this is what the C key will toggle. That will turn that on and off, basically, to get it to draw or disappear. Now the turtle channel value is, I call it the turtle channel because it's what the turtle traders used. It's actually called the Donchian channel, I think is the correct word. It's set to a default value of 20, which you can change if you like. So if I change that to 10, that's going to halve the channel value. I've got to press C to turn it back on, and you can see that the channel's much more narrower. Now with the value at 10, what that would basically mean is the channel would draw the highest point. So like this point would be the highest point within the last 10 candles. So if I took this candle here and sort of like plotted that point up there, if I guess went back 10 candles, you know, this was probably the highest point, so it draws the channel there, and it does the same thing, you know, for the low as well. So this would be the lowest point in the last 10 candles. As you can see, that's a new low, so it's obviously sitting right on it. If you look at, like, say this low, it goes down here and tracks back 10 candles, and you can see that I think that was the lowest point there. That's 10 candles back. So that's the channel there. That's just an added feature because a couple of people use channels, and it's quite an easy thing to implement there. And you know, I do look at them from time to time, you know, when I'm trying things out and whatnot. So I thought it was a very handy feature to put in. So just remember that C key will turn that on and off. It's nice and handy if you just want to pop it on and do some technical analysis with the channel, and then you just take it off. Some other hotkeys as well. Now remember I was talking about the drawing features for the reversal candles. You press the R key and you will see that it will toggle the reversal channel on and off, and that's all the reversal candles. Okay, you can see them all flickering on and off there. Okay, so if you want to clean the charts up a little bit, that's the reversal candles. Yes, there is also one for inside candles too. It's just the I key, so you just press I and that will toggle the inside candles on and off. The D key will toggle the doji candles, which is also something I forgot to mention. The battle station does draw dojis as well. It draws them as the magenta color there. Sorry, I forgot to mention those. So yeah, doji candles are included there on their own sort of channel. So we spoke about the reversal candles. The dojis are on their own sort of line, and the inside candles are also on their own sort of channel as well. So you can turn those off, and just you can see now we can start to clear up the chart. So again, if you just want to quickly pop those inside days on, you can just quickly do some analysis around then, and you just turn them off just to clean the chart up. So that reversal candle hotkey also works on Renko Charts as well. Okay, let's move on to the notification feature of the battle station, which is an awesome feature that will get you away from the charts and, you know, just give you a bit of better time management with integrating trading into your day. So you can get the battle station basically to scan the charts and do the grunt work for you, and the notifications are going to let you know when it finds something, so you can be alerted and come to the computer, come to the screen and see if the pattern's worth taking or not. So it can notify you in 3 ways. So we've got the internal alert system, which isn't really much use for you if you're away from the computer, because you need to be here to read it, but I've put it in there anyway. It puts up a pop-up message with a bit of a chime and just like a ding, it lets you know so it's found something. It is on by default. Probably the most beneficial feature here is the push notifications for Android and Apple handheld devices. So you got your mobile phones and your tablets. If you got like an iPhone or iPad or Galaxy, you know, or any of the other Android phones or tablets, you download the MetaTrader app and you can get these notifications working very quickly. I've got the tutorial listed down below, step by step, on how to basically get the app set up and get it integrated with your MT4. It's very easy. You'll have it done in no time. Basically, the push notifications are on by default. They're not going to work unless you follow those steps. MetaTrader basically wants a key from your MetaTrader app that you download. Once you put that key in the settings, it's going to work straight away. Another medium that the battle station can contact you on is through email. Now I've turned this off by default because I think that the push notifications are going to be much more popular with today's, you know, phones and tablets and things like that. It'll be much more convenient. But if you want, it can send you emails. A couple of the traders are using the email feature. That also does require a bit of setting up. You got to know your email server address, the username and password, and fix all that up. I do have an example for Gmail. I have tested it with Gmail, and Gmail is working. So in the tutorial below, you can follow the steps and you'll be able to integrate your Gmail. But if you just follow the tutorial and sort of mimic the steps with your other email service, so if you've got Hotmail, Yahoo, or your internet provider, whoever it is, you've got to find out the email server address to get that to work. Now, the notifications can be, and the candlesticks can be individually turned on and off. If you scroll down, we're going to skip a few settings here, and you'll see under Advanced Candle Options, this is where you can really get granular with the controls here and start turning off individual candlesticks and individual notifications. Under Advanced Candle Options, you'll see that each candlestick signal is has got its own individual options. With notifications, there's another feature of the battle station which I'll talk to you about in a little bit, which passively scans the 1 hour or the 4 hour time frame. But just for now, let's just focus on the current time frame setting. So if I don't want to be notified about inside candles on the current time frame, I just set that to false. And maybe I don't want to be notified about outside candles, so I'll set that to false. And maybe dark cloud cover, I don't want to be notified about that, so you would go down and set its notify by current time frame to false. Now this is explained a little bit better in the tutorial below, but this is just a brief overview of how it works. Also here you can individually turn off the drawing features as well. So if I don't want the battle station to draw outside candles, you can switch those off. On engulfing candles, you can switch those off too, and it will just skip them and they won't be marked on the chart. So if you're a trader, maybe you're only looking for pin bars or rejection candles. If you only want rejection candles, then you'll turn the rest off, and then you'll just leave this to true, and you can do the same with the notifications as well. It just gives you that granular control, because not everyone's going to want to know about all these candlestick patterns. There's a lot of cases where traders are just focusing in on certain patterns. So we've got the engulfing candle there. Maybe you're just focusing on that, so you would turn the rest off and notifications off, so you're only notified specifically about the engulfing candle. Also, with the Renko charts as well, it's got its own section. So remember how I told you that it can operate in candlestick mode or Renko mode. If you get that message that it's working in Renko mode, then these settings down here are going to apply. Just these ones here under the advanced Renko candle options. And basically, just the Renko options aren't as extensive, but they will basically give you some granular control there. So we got draw Renko engulfing candles. You can turn that on and off. Notify about the Renko engulfing candle. Also notify on new Renko candle, so you can turn that on and off. And you can make this a little bit more filtered out, I guess, with the notify on new Renko candle by only notifying you on the direction change. By default, that's off. So when you load the battle station onto a Renko chart and you don't change anything, it's going to let you know when a new Renko candle forms all the time, and it's going to let you know about the engulfing candles. That may get a little bit annoying to you. Maybe you only want to know about reversals, so you would come down and you would switch that to true, and that will just switch on the direction change filter there for the Renko new candle notifications. Okay, so now I'd like to draw your attention to the filtering options, which is very important to understand, because if you don't understand the filtering system, you could run into a bit of trouble where you're not being notified of certain candles or things aren't showing up on your chart. Now the filtering options, there's just 3 simple options here, but they're a little extensive on how they work on the back end. So the filtering system is basically quality control. I'm sure you don't want to be notified of every single candlestick pattern that forms on every single chart on the time frames that you're scanning. That may seem fun at first, a little bit trivial at first, but it's going to get annoying. And I'm sure you don't trade every single candlestick pattern that pops up on the chart. That would be suicide. So what I've done is I've implemented a couple of filters here to weed out those low quality signals and only let the high quality candlestick signals filter through. So you're only notified of the quality stuff. There's 3 ways that I go about that. 2 I've got switched on by default, and they're going to be on as soon as you load the battle station. So you've got the candle range filter, which is the size of the candle, and if the candle is too small, then it won't show up on the chart and you won't be notified about it. So if you get some 10 pip range candle or something like that, then you don't really want to know about that, surely. So if you do, you just turn this off, and regardless of the size of the candle, you'll be notified. As simple as that. If you turn this to true, then the filtering system will kick in. The range filter there will actually filter out inside candles that are too large, because generally with inside candles you want to trade those tight consolidation breakouts. If you just get like very large inside candles, that's generally due to a previous day that had extremely large volatility, and of course the next day naturally is going to be an inside candle, and it's not really the sort of like structure that you're looking for there. So inside candles that are too large usually are filtered out, and the reversal candles need to be with a certain range, so we don't want them to be too small. So I've only filtered through the larger ones there, and that's going to be very important for intraday charts. If you're looking at intraday charts, candles are forming more frequently, so you definitely want that range filter on to not be annoyed by those little candles that are forming, and you only want to focus your attention on the larger range stuff that has a better chance of working out. Now the swing high low filter is basically the location filter. So sometimes you will get, so if I just pop that on, I'll try and find an example for you. Okay, so here's an example. Now this only applies to reversal candles. Inside candles and dojis are not included in this swing high-low filter, because with the reversal candles, you generally want them to have made a new high or a new low on the chart. Remember, you want to sell high, buy low, not the other way around. So in this case here, let's just say that this would be, with the other filters off, this might be flagged as a pin bar or a rejection candle. So this candle here would not qualify because it didn't make a new swing high on the chart. So it would really need to have had a high like this to actually pass that filter. So if we had a retracement and say it formed up here and created a new swing high, then it would have passed the filter. So we can see here, this candle did pass the swing filter because its high did make a new swing high. Okay, so it basically determines what a swing high and low is by just scanning the 5 or 6 candles, and it has its high or its low have to have made the lowest point within 5 candles or 6 candles, whatever it's set at internally inside the battle station, to qualify that candle making a new swing high or low. And that just filters out those candles just form out of position, and could potentially encourage you to be selling low or buying high kind of thing. But you can see that this reversal candle here that's flagged, it's formed at the bottom of a move, encouraging you to buy low, and then it's you can see it worked out and it pushed off up here. And then we've got a bearish engulfing candle, this would be, which made a new swing high. So its high is the highest point within a certain amount of range, and you can see that basically you would be selling high because you'll be, here's the rally, here's the reversal candle on top of the rally, there's a bit of a sell-off, and that candle did its thing. Here again you can see that the high of this rejection candle here made a new swing high, so it's the highest point within 5 or 6 previous candles here, and that made a new swing high, therefore it passed the filter. This one here did make a new swing low, but it probably didn't pass the range filter, and that's why it's not showing up. So that's an example of how the swing high low location filter and the range sizing filter for the candlesticks helps the battle station weed out those crappy signals and just filter through those quality ones. Now I would like to show you how the chart level filter will work out. So if I've got 2 battle stations there, that's not good. So where are we? We go to the filtering options. So we've got the chart level filter. I'm very proud of it. The chart level filter, turn that on, and all of a sudden all the reversal candles are gone from the chart. Okay, and it just to clear up the demonstration a bit, I'm going to press I, turn those inside candles off, and D to turn those doji candles off. It's only going to filter the reversal candles that bounce off the levels on your chart. And because I have no levels at the moment, nothing is coming through. So if I get my horizontal tool up here and plot it on the chart, you'll see we're getting some signals light up here. So we've basically got a rejection candle that has formed bouncing off one of my horizontal lines here, my resistance line, and it's lit up and passed, and it's also passed the other filters as well. What you got to understand is those filters, they all stack. So if you have all the filters turned on, the candle must meet the criteria of every single filter. It goes through each filter and it must pass each one before it will pass through the quality control system and notify you and draw it on the chart. So even if it did bounce like this guy here, we got an outside candle, even though it did bounce off my resistance level, it probably hasn't met the range filter there. Yeah, I'd say the range filter is weeding that one out. and we can see, you know, we've got maybe, I think this would qualify as an engulfing candle here, but it hasn't bounced off my horizontal level there, so it's not showing. So this horizontal, or the chart level filtering, is basically good if you're only watching specific levels in the market and you don't care about patterns that are forming anywhere else. Remember, it only affects reversal candles, so the inside candles and the dojis won't be affected by this filter. And you can see I've just plotted a support level down there, and we had another signal light up. So you could plot your major levels on your chart, the levels that you're watching, the ones we also had one form here. So you plot your major turning points on the chart, and the signals will basically light up if they bounce off those levels, and you can see here it's working perfectly. And I've just plotted this range here, and you can see how the battle station can really start to be fine-tuned to really, you know, filter out, like you're panning for gold here. You're just looking for those golden signals amongst the dirt, and using these filters to extract them out. So with the horizontal, or the chart filter, it works live. It's on the fly. So any changes you make to the chart, so if I grab my level and remove it and move it somewhere else, it will automatically readjust and reshuffle everything, and the battle station will basically readjust to the changes. So if I move it back and put it there, they light up again. Okay, so that's one cool feature there. Now the other cool feature is the Trendline tool. It will work with Trendline tools. So if I draw a trend line there, okay, we're not getting any signals light up there. I have to find a better example. There we go. So if I put the trend line there, oh, these trend lines are a bit clunky. So with the chart level filter, it's looking for trend line bounces, and it's looking for horizontal support and resistance bounces there. So whatever you've got on your chart, whether it be horizontal lines or trend lines, then it's going to use those and only show you the signals that bounce off those levels. Now in this case here, we've got this massive outside candle which has been flagged, which is basically probably been caused by a news release or something like that. This is the hourly chart, so it's probably got a bit churned up here, but it did form an outside candle, past the range filter and the swing filter, and it bounced off the trend line there, so that's why it's been flagged. But here as well, we can see that a bullish rejection candle did form off the trend line, and it's been flagged there as well. And again, the trend lines are live, so if I move it, and then it's going to readjust. If I move it back, it's going to reflag it. One important thing you have to know about the trend lines is the way that it had to be developed inside the battle station was a little bit tricky. What actually has to happen is the trend line has to be reconstructed inside the battle station, and that takes a little bit of computing power. And for that reason, the battle station can only handle up to 3 trend lines on the chart. That's not so much of a big deal. Most people probably wouldn't use more than 3 trend lines. If you do, I think your chart's getting a little bit messy. You can use more than 3, but the battle station will only use, I think, the last 3 trend lines that you've placed on your chart. So I'll put another trend line down. We may get some signals here. So you definitely got that awesome reversal candle up there. We didn't get this one here. It didn't qualify for something. Oh, if you draw the trend line the wrong way, if you draw it backwards, the battle station will ignore it. So you have to draw your trend line straight. That should get picked up there. And so you can see I've got up to 3 trend lines here working now. I can draw another one, but it will start to knock off probably this one here, since this is the first one that I drew. Oh no, that one's still being maintained. It's probably this one that won't get used at all. Yeah, I'd say this one, because I've already got 3 on the chart. The 4th one, it just ignores it. And the reason is, just like I said, because it takes a bit of computing power to recalculate these trend lines. And if you've got a bunch of charts open, you've got a few trend lines open and whatnot, the last thing you want is the battle station to slow your computer down. So that's the horizontal and trendline filter, the chart filter, which is pretty cool. So if you just highlighting the market structure with the trend lines and the horizontal levels, and you just want to be notified when you get a reversal signal bouncing off those levels there, then you just turn that on and it will just work with the levels automatically on your chart, and as you can see they adjust on the fly. And that also will work with the Renko candle charts as well. Alright, just a few more things to help you get started. So we'll go back and reload the battle station with the default settings. The next couple of things that we need to speak about, here it is, the alternate time frame scanning, which is a good feature for scanning the intraday charts. It only supports native MT4 time frames, so that includes the 4-hour and the 1-hour. If you're looking to scan anything else under the 1-hour chart, then you'll probably just have to load the battle station directly onto that time frame. So if you're into the 15-minute chart, for example, you'll just have to load the battle station onto the 15-minute chart and operate from there. Whatever time frame you load the battle station onto, it will work with. But in this case, with the passive 4-hour and 1-hour scanning, when you turn them on, what's going to happen is no matter what time frame you load the battle station onto, it's going to passively scan the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour chart at the same time. So right now, if I go to the daily chart, if this we're on the weekend at the moment, but if the markets were live, it will be scanning the daily chart, the 4-hour chart, and the 1-hour chart if I had all of them turned on. Now, if I say wanted to go to the 15-minute chart and scan the 15-minute chart, I could load the battle station on here, and still from here I could scan the 1-hour and 4-hour, because the 1-hour and 4-hour are very popular swing trading time frames. So we basically put them in there as just a helpful thing, so you don't have to load the battle station onto a 1-hour and 4-hour and daily set of time frames, so you'd have 3 charts open. So just from the one chart you can basically scan all those 3 time frames. So if you're working with any custom time frames, like from the panel, like 8-hour, 12-hour or Renko charts, then you just load the battle station directly onto those charts and it will work with whatever you put it on, basically. The performance options, I've just got one option here, max candles to scan. So some people have charts, for back testing purposes or whatever they have, which actually you go into the options, max bars on chart. So this number here, so you can see I have 605,000 candles allowed to be on the chart history at one time. So technically, if I have enough price history here, I could have, even if I go back to the daily chart, or say like the 4-hour, there could be 600,000 candles on this chart. Now, to stop the battle station from going back through the whole chart and scanning all 600,000 possible candles, I've set a limit. And the limit by default is 500, which you'll see it's going to give you plenty of history, and you can see it's basically cut off about there. Now, it's quite easy if you want to go do some back testing, or you want it to extend back through your charts. I can change this to, you can change it whatever number you want, there's no limit. If I put that to 2,500, you can see now it's going back even further and drawing much more back into the history. Now, if you've got 20 charts open, you're scanning multiple time frames and whatnot. So how it works is you keep the candle limit small, and the battle station will be able to work a lot faster, especially on load, because when you load it onto a chart, that's when it does the initial sweep of the chart and scans back into the price history. So you just want to stop it from going back too far, where you're probably not even going to look that far back in the chart unless you're doing the back testing, which is the only reason you would go back that far, to see those patterns. So just keep that in mind. So I think that's basically covering all the basic options and operations. I did mention before, we do have the Breakout Trap alert system there, and those settings are here, so you can turn the Breakout Trap on and off. Just remember, the Breakout Trap notification is only valid for the current time frame that you're working with. It does not work with the 1-hour and 4-hour passive scanning. So that's basically, that's all the options covered. Now, if you have any questions about the battle station, how to use it, if you find any bugs, you have any suggestions, or you'd like to see some extra functionality put in there. Don't send me a support ticket because what happens is I get repeat questions over and over again. I have to keep answering the same things. So go into the thread which is in the link below, and if you have a question, open your own thread. Well, actually first look through any current posts and see if your problem's already been answered by me or someone else. If it hasn't, you can't find a solution, then post your thread, with a descriptive topic there, and I'll check in and look into it for you and get you an answer. One other thing that would help me out in a massive way is if you're out there on a public forum talking about price action, Renko Charts, Candlestick Patterns, anything that's relevant to the war room, it would be a huge help if you could just mention the site if it's relevant. I'm not asking you to spam, because your personal recommendation will help grow the war room community, and I need the war room community to grow to continue growing these tools, as they are very resource intensive. They can cost a lot of money too. They do take up a lot of time. So if I do need to hire extra help, that can get quite expensive. I do have a lot of great ideas, but I do need your help to get the war room to grow, because I can't do it all on my own, which I'm currently doing. So that would be a massive help to me if you could do that, and I promise I will reward you for it by creating much better content here and much better tools. And like I said, I've got some great ideas, and I'll definitely put them into the war room if I get the support from everybody here. So that's it from me. I hope you really enjoy this tool, and I really do hope it does improve your trading to life management, so you're not stuck in front of the charts all the time. I hope it does free you up from the charts and help you filter out bad signals and only draw your attention to the high quality stuff. So get away from the charts, put the battle station on. So load up the battle station, set it up the way you want, then just get away from the charts and just wait for your mobile phone or your tablet or an email from the battle station to let you know there's something there. Then you can come and check the charts and hopefully make some money. So I'll talk to you guys soon. If you got any questions, drop them in the thread there. Be happy to help, and yeah, best of luck on the charts.